Music artists and entrepreneurs, what's good? Sarge here from MySarge.com, and today I'm going to continue on from my last video in which I talked to you guys about how to drop your albums, EPs, and singles, and we're going to talk about it. Today's episode is sponsored by Nectar Distribution, 520 Collective, and Classic Studios, so you don't want to miss this one. Now go ahead and hit that hey subscribe button, and let's work. Salutes to that. Alright, so last week, guys, I talked to you about the things that you definitely don't need to do, about the things that are probably going to prevent you from having a successful release, like the quality, you trying to compare yourself to other people, all that other stuff. But that was last week's video. If you missed last week's video, don't worry about it. I got it somewhere up here. It's going to show up on the screen so you can click on it and get to that video. But for those of you that have been consistent and you've been rocking with your boy, today I'm going to talk to you guys about the things that you absolutely need to make sure that you do before the release of your next project, song, or just content in general. So I'm not gonna waste y'all's time. Let's get into it. Alright, so just off the top of the dome, I'm thinking like at minimum, I can talk for myself, you gotta make sure that you have a feedback circle. So if you just got done with a song, or you're like, yo, my EP's done, you know, my album's done, whatever, make sure you have a feedback circle of at least 2, maybe 3 people that you really trust to let them hear your content, hear your music, see your content, and give you a legitimate, unbiased opinion. Because let's be honest, our music, our content, that's our baby, and for the most part we think it's good, right? But if the baby ugly, call it ugly. You need to call it ugly. And what I mean by that is you got to have some people, whether in your circle or outside of your circle, that are able to look at it and go, okay, I understand that you feel this way about your content, you feel this way about your music, but the average listener, the average person looking at it, it's really not that good. So make sure that you have feedback. You don't want to release content, you don't want to release music that's not good, right? And you got to have people that you can trust. So make sure, number one, you got to have some form of a circle where you're getting legitimate, quality feedback. Alright, so the next thing on my mind is probably something that's super obvious, but we tend to miss it as artists all the time. The cover art. The cover art has to be popping. Your album cover, your EP cover. First of all, it's just got to catch my attention. Off the jump, it has to catch my attention. Why? Because, you know, we always talk about visuals when it comes to artists and bands and producers and stuff like that, but the truth is, you know, with movies, the trailer is your first visual before the actual movie. Well, what's the first visual to like your supporters and your fans? It's the art, it's the cover art, it's the album cover, it's the single cover. It needs to catch my attention. It needs to catch their attention so they can go, oh snap, like this art, like this song, I'm really excited about this song coming out. Oh snap, based off the cover, like I really wonder what this song's about. Man, when is it coming out? Your cover art is already drawing questions and is building its own hype and excitement, but the cover art needs to be good. Now, some of you guys, I already understand, you're already thinking, well, yeah, but I'm not Sarge, I'm not a graphic artist, I don't know people that do it, or I don't really have the funds to be able to do it and things like that. Don't worry about it, I got you. I'm about to give you guys 2 free resources on where you can create your own covers and things like that. Let's start here. Let's start with GraphicSprings.com. That's a really good quality site and it's free. And then there's also Spark.adobe.com. You can use both of these resources so you guys can make some pretty dope, super quality graphics for yourself. You're welcome. Alright, so the next thing that you guys need to worry about is the platform. Where do you guys plan on posting your music at? So, I mean, we get the digital platforms, right? Okay, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, whatever, right? I'm talking about the other platforms. I'm talking about, is your album, EP, song, your beat tape, is that going to be on SoundCloud? Is it going to be on Bandcamp? Is it going to be on Noise Trade? Is it going to be on Reverb Nation? There are tons of sites, there are tons of platforms. Where is your music going to get posted? So you need to determine that right off the cuff before you even release it. Go ahead and start thinking about platforms and what you want to put your music. Alright, so this one, pay attention please, because I don't understand why this gets missed so much. Alright, the release date. The release date when it comes to your content. If you just finished the song today, this weekend, you don't need to drop it Friday. You're setting yourself up for failure already.
You're asking me. What's it like to be a sex?
All right. For me, I'm telling you guys, at minimum, you need your release date needs to be 3 to 4 weeks out. And you're like, wait, 3 to 4 weeks? What am I doing for 3 to 4 weeks? Well, I mentioned movies earlier. Okay, well, why do directors and why do companies release the trailer months out? To build hype, to build excitement. A lot of you guys are just dropping content and then get upset when people aren't sharing it, liking it, commenting, and things like that. And most people, it's not that they didn't check out your stuff or they don't like it. More than half of them didn't even know it was coming out. You guys need time to promote and push it. Also, for those of you that are doing digital distribution, so I mentioned iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, things like that. Those you need time for those distributors to pick up your song, even though you're using these distribution companies, right? You need to give it a couple weeks so there's no worry about whether or not it's going to be up or not. It's going to be there, especially for those of you that are doing albums, EPs, and you're trying to set up a pre-order. You got to make sure there's enough time to where that the pre-order can hit the stores, then show up, and then make sure that everything's good. But a lot of you guys are trying to do it last minute, and you're like, you know what, it's gonna release Friday. So you send it up. Let's say you send it to iTunes today, but then you guys get upset on Friday when it's not on iTunes, and you didn't told everyone it's gonna be on iTunes and Spotify. Well, you didn't give those companies enough time. You're not the only artist, band, producer, whatever, sending up your stuff. So 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, and that's a minimum. All right. I'd actually recommend you take more time than that, but if you're just one of those people, you're just impatient, minimum 3 weeks on your release date. Next thing, copywriting. You need to copyright your stuff. You need to protect yourself. Like, look, even though we're in a digital age to where the moment I start recording something on my DAW, it's protected, it's mine, it's stamped. Look, we know that people are grimy these days. We know people that are out here trying to steal vibes and steal stuff. Look, you need to be able to protect yourself. So make sure that you copyright your stuff. For those of you that don't know the site, it's copyright.gov, where you can copyright multiple tracks. And really, it's cheap. It's mad cheap. If I remember right, it's like $55 for like a collection of songs. So it's really cheap. Again, it's copyright.gov. Do your research. Go to YouTube, go to other YouTube videos, and learn how. I might even do a YouTube video in the future on how to actually copyright things. But make sure that you protect yourself and you protect your art. All right, so the last thing I'll say to you guys is it's really a question. How are you going to push your stuff? How are you going to push it? Like, are you lining up a bunch of shows in different cities to bring attention to your new song, your new EP, your new album? What are you doing? Like, are you using social media? Are you using like sponsored ads? Like, are you sending it out to blogs, things like how are you pushing it? Because the truth is, your friends and your family might know about your new release, and that's cool. But how are you building a fan base if you're not reaching new people that have no idea who you are? So you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan on how exactly you're going to reach these new people so you can build your fan base person by person, supporter by supporter, fan by fan, and before you know it, you're going to have an empire. But there's no such thing as a classic. You might have a classic album or EP or song, but if no one knows about it, is it still a classic? That's a legitimate question. We're not arguing about that today. We're not arguing. Maybe I'll do a blog or something about that, but we're not arguing about that today. The truth is, you need to have a plan for everything that you do. Everything that you do. If you're not planning for it, you're going to ultimately fail, right? Alright, so I guess some of y'all are hearing me, and some of you might feel like, yo, like this is really good information, like Sarge, I really appreciate it. I'm definitely going to take this and I'm going to run with it. Cool. But there's some of y'all that have been in the game a little bit and you feel like, yo, Sarge, like that's cool, but like this didn't really help me a whole bunch. I was hoping to like actually get some legitimate gems. Like, I mean, the graphic design stuff, the links, that was cool, but bro, I need more. I need more. Like, you're killing me right now. You're right. You're absolutely right. Like, one of the reasons why I started doing YouTube videos is because I felt like a lot of the veterans and the people that have been in the game for a while anyway, like I felt like they never gave legitimate gems. They were just giving you really good quotes and they weren't giving you anything that actually helped you towards your career. So that's what I'm going to do. For those of you that actually want a breakdown, like a step by step, a legit like, Sarge, how did you do it? How did you chart on iTunes? How did you do this? I am open right now for consultation. So if you are interested in knowing that, if you want me to be able to review your content, look at your social media pages, see how you're doing, you want my opinion on what you should do for your release, you want to know what my strategy plan was, and me give you like the legitimate gems and tips, things that I used, again, I'm open for consultations, baby. So if you're interested, be sure go down to the link in the description. Go to the link in the description. All right, click on that link, fill out that form, and we'll go from there. I'm actually really excited about this. Like, my heart is really to help creatives, to help music artists, bands, whatever. And so the fact that I get to help you guys out, like, listen to y'all's dope music, listen to your EPs, your singles, your albums, and be able to go like, hey, take this direction, go this way, but at the same time give you options and then allow you guys to make those decisions and see your careers flourish. Boy, I'm excited. I'm mad excited about it. So if you are interested, again, just go down, link in the description, fill out the form, and we get to working. We'll get to talking. Simple as that. You feel me? Alright, y'all, what you think? Did you like this video? If so, go ahead and hit that like button, then hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time I drop a new video. Also, if there's a particular topic that you guys want me to talk about, go ahead, go into the comment section. I do read my comments, and I will add your suggestions to the list. And as always, be you, enjoy your life, and live authentic. Salutes to that. Catch y'all later.